Hi, we're here at SHOT Show 2019 with Varant Chan of Really Right Stuff. Thanks for spending time with us today and with our audience.
You're welcome. We're glad to be here.
Now, Really Right Stuff, your products have become almost ubiquitous in NRL, PRS style matches, and for good reason. They offer a lot of utility and flexibility. Now, some of the folks that are looking to purchase your products may need some orientation because you have a lot of products. Your company comes from a photography background.
Correct.
So can you help orient our viewers to some of your products, particularly the tripods? What should they really be looking for?
So there's a few primary considerations the customer needs to decide. One is the load capacity they need to support, and that has to do with application, whether they're primarily doing spotting or they're actually shooting, what caliber they're shooting, what height they need, and so all those things factor in. However, we think we have a tripod that fits everybody's needs. So the best way to demonstrate some of that might actually be to look over here. We've got some demonstration pieces. So over here you can actually see some of the differences of the tripod. We call this our apex. It's the centerpiece where all the legs attach to the tripod. And starting with the biggest one here, this is our 4 series, then our 3 series, 2 series. And then for the SOAR market, our sport optic and rifle market, we actually came out with some unique sizes. This is actually compatible with both our 2 and 3 series legs. And this one's specifically designed for our new Anvil 30 head. So you can see there's a difference in girth and just overall package size. These were primarily invented for our photography ball heads, whereas these are more suited for the shooting market. Now, if you look over here, this is a size comparison of the tripod tubes themselves. Starting with the largest, this is our 4 series, 3, 2, and 1 series. And then these are the tubes that nest inside of those. So the 4 series tube is obviously going to be the strongest and the stiffest. But then you're also looking at a much heavier duty setup, which in most cases is overkill for this industry. So most of the time for people shooting PRS and long range, we actually recommend either the 3 or the 2 series tripods. And we actually have a new head that we released last year at SHOT Show, but it's in production for about 6 months now. And that is specifically designed for shooting sports. So that's over here. This is our new Anvil 30 head. It's designed to be fast and easy to use. Actually, I've got it backwards here. This one might be a little bit easier to show. So different than our photography ball heads, this one is there's only a single lever operation, so you don't have to deal with a bunch of different controls. And so this single lever allows you to fully unlock the ball, and this head provides 35 degrees of articulation in any direction. Another unique thing about this head is that the weight of your setup sits entirely on top of that ball, and then we have a clamshell underneath that comes up and closes on top of it. That allows for the shooter to get on target when it's fully loose, and when you go to tighten the lever, there's no point of aim shift. And so that's really important for making sure that you stay on target. In addition, we also have a new feature on this clamp where it's a dual purpose. In the photography world, we're known for the dovetail standard, which a lot of people refer to as the ARCA rail. So we have a lot of mounts for that, and this clamp is compatible with that, but it's also compatible with Picatinny rails.
Oh, okay.
So you're able to also clamp in and lock into a Picatinny rail.
Oh, that's great. So if you have a rifle that doesn't necessarily have a really right stuff rail on it, you can use the same mount for the pick rail. Okay,
Yeah.
that's very useful.
Correct. So we have a patent pending on this design. There's no adjustment from the user needed, so it's just a one-size-fits-all kind of approach.
And so this would be a Series 3, is that?
This is actually a Series 2.
Okay.
And then this would be a Series 3.
Okay.
So the leg size is slightly larger. And then within the leg diameter, once you have the diameter selected, the 3 Series is a 50-pound load capacity. The 2 Series is a 40-pound load capacity.
Okay.
So for most people, that doesn't really, the load capacity itself isn't a differentiator in the decision making. It's how stiff the 3 Series is compared to the 2 Series. Especially when you get down to the smaller tubes down at the bottom. The larger the diameter that is, the stiffer it's going to be, the more rigid and stable you're going to be. However, the people that are wanting the 2 Series are tending to be backpacking or using it in a scenario where they need to schlep the gear around.
Right.
And so you save close to a pound with the 2 Series versus the 3 Series.
And height-wise, what height are these?
So these are compressed right now for shooting this video, but these will actually extend up to about 6 feet tall. Both of these models, these are this is the 34L and the 24L.
Okay.
So that means the first digit is the series of the tripods, so 2 Series, 3 Series.
Okay.
And then the second digit represents the number of leg sections. So this has actually 4 leg sections here. So it's a 34, and the L is a long version versus a shorter version. So the 34L and the 24L cover pretty much any height range. We do offer some shorter versions with less sections. If speed is a primary concern, then you have less twist locks to worry about in the middle of a competition, and that might be one thing to consider as well.
Do you see the precision shooter gravitating more toward the 3-section leg or the 4-section leg?
I think most people appreciate the flexibility of having a tripod that's taller than they need.
Okay.
For one situation is shooting downhill. Your tripod may not always be on level ground, and you might need the legs to extend further down than your actual standing position. So that's one situation. Also, the 4 sections tend to collapse down to a smaller size, so they can fit it into a smaller case or bag.
And so clearly you can mix and match these. So if you wanted to go the leveling base route, for example, you could decide, okay, I want to do Series 3, for example, and then maybe you combine it with one of these. Is that how that would work?
That's correct. So the 2 and 3 Series legs are interchangeable.
Okay.
And that's also the case with these other 2 here. All 4 of these units have interchangeable legs.
Okay.
So you decide whether you want the 2 or the 3 Series and how many leg sections and what height.
Okay.
Then you match it with what type of head you want. If you want a photography head or the leveling base head, then you'd go with the TVC type apex.
Okay.
And then if you want our new Anvil head, then you'd go with this TFTC.
Okay. And this guy right here is really more geared toward photography or like a big heavy studio camera or something like that. Okay.
Correct.
So folks really, they're going to look at this. They're going to look at these 2 guys right here, the shooter.
That's correct.
And like a Series 3 or Series 2. And I assume these both come in 4-section legs and 3-section legs.
That's correct.
And if folks still need additional help in making a decision, can they call up Really Right Stuff and get somebody on the phone to walk them through it?
Yeah, we have customer service representatives that would be happy to pick up the phone and talk with you about your purchase decision. We also have some comparison tools online, visual aids that help you see the difference between the models.
Excellent. Well, you also have some accoutrements here. I see brand Brandon? Oh, back here, actually.
Actually,
Over
we've
here.
got them
All
on the
right.
rifles.
All right. I'm a little disoriented. Last video of SHOT Show.
So something that's become really popular is attaching our clamp system to the bipods. So this SCLR clamp on here on this Atlas, we have an adapter plate, and then we are able to stick our clamp on top of there. And this has that same feature that we talked about, the dual-purpose clamp.
That's very nice.
It's got both a Picatinny grabber and our 1.5 inch dovetail compatibility.
Very nice. And it seems like you can almost mount this onto a Picatinny rail almost as easily as you can the really right stuff. Yeah, it's not because sometimes when you mount stuff in the Picatinny rail, you're kind of like, okay, is it married up with a slot?
Right.
But this is like,
yeah, we designed it. We designed it to be fuss-free and without any adjustment from the user needed.
so that's very notable. So for folks out there that are maybe considering going this route, maybe they don't have a really right stuff rail yet, they have Picatinny, they could get this. It works very well with a Picatinny, but then when they graduate to a really right stuff rail, they haven't lost their investment.
Correct. And I would qualify this with saying this is compatible with mil-spec standard Picatinny rails. You know, there's other rails out there that aren't necessarily to mil-spec standards. So.
Okay. So your mileage may vary, but
Right.
in general, and so what's the availability of this?
These are available for order now.
Okay.
We're constantly making and shipping these. I'm not sure. I think right now it's actually on back order.
Okay.
But we're making them as fast as we can and shipping them in the order that the orders are received.
And the price on this?
I believe it's $120.
Okay. Excellent. And now we were also chatting with the folks at WeBad, and they mentioned how they've been working with you to have a bag that uses your rail system. But it also seems that if you only have Picatinny rail, you could outfit this bag.
That's correct.
Similarly, right?
Yes, actually the same clamp that we put here on top of the bipod is able to mount to this. So you get the same functionality of the dual clamp.
Well, I mean, and this is my key takeaway. I think for some of the folks out there that might have rail envy, if they've got a pick rail, they can still use a lot of your products and even some of the third-party products that have been geared toward your rails. I mean, that's a really good takeaway. Is there anything else you'd like to share with our audience?
Something new that we announced for the show is actually our 36 millimeter rings.
Okay. I think you got them. Are those right there?
So this is an example of them here, and it's also being shown here with this new zero comp optic scope. We've been making rings for a few years now, but only in the 30 millimeter and 34 millimeter sizes. So we announced a 36 millimeter.
Well, a lot of buzz around the zero compromise, and now another option. Let's kind of.
Yeah.
Is it okay if I just take that out?
Yeah, it's a little bit tricky to.
Okay. We'll kind of navigate this.
Pull out.
All right, there we go. So it's a very nice, robust design. Do you have any quick detach versions?
No, not at this time. So it's 4 screws. It's the same size. I think it's a T15 that you use to torque down. We have 6 screws on each of the caps, so it's nice and secure. There's an integrated bubble level on the rear.
And it's centered, so it's ambi.
That's correct. So we like clean lines. So versus other competitor products, it's very smooth to the touch. You won't snag on anything or catch. There's also a ramp feature here that we ship this with a leveling wedge. So you can use that to make sure that
that's very nice.
The scope is not canted. And this will come in both 0 and 20 MOA variants. Right now this is a 1¼ inch height, but we'll also have a 1½ inch height.
And the most important question, do you also have left-hand versions of these tripods?
So the new Anvil head is actually designed to be ambidextrous.
Okay. So
we can actually flip this around. So obviously the control, the main lock lever will be reverse direction, but it's designed to be able to be operated with the right hand as well. And you'll see there's a spirit level on both sides of the head. And then actually this top lever can be rotated around if you prefer the other direction for clamping it.
Or that's very thoughtful that all of these products are ambidextrous. All right, well, thank you for spending time with us, and I'm sure the viewers of this video, this will help sort things out. And again, you can always call them up and get a knowledgeable customer service representative to help you with your choice. Well, best of luck at SHOT Show 2019. Thank you very much.
Thank you.